Yeah.
Oh, Lisa, you can't find a little stand?
Okay, we're recording right now.
Once there were two shiny, clean new books. One book had a red cover. The other book had a blue cover. The red book and the blue book sat side by side on the library shelf in the classroom. There were many other books on the library shelf, too. The two new books were happy to be in the classroom. They wanted to be the friends of the boys and girls. They wanted to show their pictures and tell their stories to the boys and girls. The boys and girls were very happy to have the new books in the classroom. They wanted to read the new books. They wanted to read all of the books. When it was time for the reading period, the boys and girls went to the library shelf to pick out books to read. A boy named Tim picked out the blue book to look at. A girl named Mary washed her hands before picking out a book to read. When her hands were clean, Mary picked out the red book to read. At the end of the reading period, the boys and girls took the books back to the library shelf. Mary had washed her hands before reading the red book. It was still clean and shiny. Tim had not washed his hands before reading the blue book. His hands were very dirty. Now there were dirty spots all over the blue book. The books looked like this on the library shelf. The next day, the reading period was short. When the books were returned to the library shelf, there were bookmarks in many of the books to mark the children's places. Bob had been reading the red book. He placed a piece of paper in the book to mark his place. He had washed his hands before reading the red book. It was still a happy book. Nancy placed a pencil in the blue book to mark her place. The pencil pulled its back apart. Its back hurt. The blue book was not a happy book. When the books had been returned to the library shelf, they looked like this. A few days later, George took the red book to his seat. He sat up straight in his chair. He held the book so he could see each page easily. At the end of the reading period, George returned the red book to the library shelf. The red book was still clean and shiny. It was still happy. That same day, Kenny wanted to read the blue book. He took it to his seat. Kenny did not sit up in his chair. He did not hold the book up. Kenny opened the book flat on the table and sat with his elbows on the book. The blue book could not stand the weight of his elbows. The pages in the book tore loose. The blue book was very sad. Now it looked like this. The boys and girls who chose the red book to read were careful to keep it clean. They put away their pencils and crayons before reading, so the book could not be marked up by accident. The boys and girls liked the Red Book very much. They liked its story and its pretty pictures. Jane liked the story in the Blue Book, but she did not think the pictures were very pretty. Jane drew new pictures in the Blue Book with the crayons she had forgotten to put away. Afterward, she was sorry. She had spoiled the pictures in the Blue Book, and now the Blue Book looked like this. The next day was Friday. The teacher asked the boys and girls if they would like to take books home to read over the weekend. Polly took the Red Book. She wanted to read the story to her little sister. She carried the book home carefully under her arm. At home, Polly placed the book on a shelf where her little sister could not reach it. Charles was in a hurry to play with his friends after school. He did not hold the Blue Book carefully as he ran home. Because he was careless and did not look where he was running, Charles slipped and fell. Charles was not hurt by the fall, but the gravel was sharp and scratched the cover of the Blue Book. When he arrived home, Charles dropped the Blue Book on the floor in his room and ran outside to play. Charles had made so much noise in the room that he awakened his dog Willie, who had been sleeping under the bed. Willie crawled out from under the bed to look for Charles and saw the Blue Book. He sniffed at the book. It smelled very good. It smelled good enough to eat. Willie tasted the Blue Book. It tasted so good that he began to chew the cover. A few minutes later, Charles's mother came into the room and saw what was happening. She paddled Willie and sent him outside, but the damage was done. Willie had chewed a corner off the cover of the book. The Blue Book looked sadder than ever before. In the evening, before it was time to go to bed, Polly read the story in the Red Book to her sister. Then she put the book back on the shelf where it would be safe. The next day, Charles showed the Blue Book to his mother and father. They were sitting on the front porch. Charles read the story to them. When he was through reading, Charles did not put the book away. He left the book on the porch and went to play with his friends. Later, when Charles went back into the house, the Blue Book was still on the porch. He had forgotten all about it. That night, it rained. In the morning, Charles found the Blue Book on the porch where he had left it. It was very wet after the night and the rain. Many of the pages were stuck together. The rain had washed most of the coloring from the cover of the book. The Blue Book was very, very sad. Monday morning, the boys and girls returned the books to the library shelf. The Red Book was still clean and shiny. The other books were clean and shiny too. Only the Blue Book was not clean and shiny. It was worn and torn wet and broken. The books on the library shelf looked like this. Each day, the boys and girls chose books to read. The books were very happy to have found so many friends. But each day, the blue book sat alone on the shelf. No one wanted to be its friend, to read its story, and look at its pictures. No one wanted to read a dirty, worn, torn, and broken book. It was the saddest book in the world. Boys and girls should be kind to books. Books are friends. They have many pretty pictures to show. They have many stories to tell.